So out of 48 years, I'm 48 years old, and I've never sued a media outlet. The media outlet throughout my life has bashed me, talked bad about me, spoke bad about my family.
In a move that's sending shockwaves through the sport, Floyd Mayweather has filed a $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and its former president Stephen Espinoza, claiming they played a role in helping his longtime manager Al Haymon misappropriate money from the fortune he earned inside the ring. It's a stunning accusation, one that cuts deep into the business side of boxing. Espinoza, for his part, says he hasn't even seen the official lawsuit paperwork yet, though is fully aware of the reports and has already spoken with his legal team. He won't go into specifics, not now, but he stands firm, passionately defending his name and insisting that throughout his career, has always fought to ensure fighters were compensated fairly.
Not seen the paperwork, and I've been in touch with attorneys. Obviously, I've seen the reports, I've seen the descriptions. And as usual, the attorneys don't want me out there publicly saying it, so I can't talk about the specifics of that. But look, I just say as a general statement, my reputation. I've spent my entire career representing fighters, making sure they were getting paid appropriately. I did that for Oscar, I did that for Mike. I've done that for every fighter who's developed under Showtime. And I'm proud of my reputation. I think it's one of integrity. And I've never done anything to make sure that a fighter got less out of every penny that he deserved. So, lawsuit will take care of it itself. I can't really address it, but I think you guys know my reputation. I stand by that.
I was going to say, you guys worked together for such a long time. I'm guessing there was like a relationship there, maybe a friendship. Are you a little disappointed about it?
I'm definitely disappointed and surprised. I haven't talked to him about it. I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from, but it's a mystery in a lot of ways.
And then there's Keith Thurman, who didn't hold back when talking about Floyd Mayweather. He pointed out that Floyd has already earned an unimaginable fortune over the years, but living like that comes with a price. The luxury isn't just for show. It has to be sustained. The fleet of cars, the sprawling mansions, the glittering watches, the private jets waiting on runways, and the massive entourage always by his side. Thurman made it clear that maintaining that kind of empire isn't just extravagant, it's incredibly expensive.
I mean, you've made probably over $800 million, and you need more money for whatever reason, It's tough, to live that lifestyle, to have that many cars, to have that many houses, to have that big of an entourage, to constantly be traveling the world, buying $1.5 million watches and things like that, jet fuel is not cheap. Okay, we're complaining about gas prices out here. Jet fuel's not cheap. All I gotta say is, ultimately, rich people problems. I really don't have nothing else to say. That's when you hear that stuff, it's rich people.
As the news spread, the rest of the boxing world couldn't stay quiet. More voices from across the sport began reacting to the stunning lawsuit filed by Floyd Mayweather, each response adding another layer to a story that already had everyone watching closely.
Anybody pretty much can sue anybody for anything. You gotta prove your point when you go to court or settlement or something, live something. But I don't know what he's claiming.
It's a major story. $340 million that he's owed.
That's a lot of money.
Hey, what do you think of that?
That's crazy. He has to have some type of pay. You don't just wake up one day and say,
Didn't he get paid that much money, though?
He got paid probably close to $1 billion.
No,
he got paid a lot.
They had done a contract with Showtime where they had paid him like a $300 million contract.
Floyd Mayweather has announced that he's suing Showtime for $340 million. What are your thoughts on that, man? I would hate to see Floyd Mayweather having financial issues. What do you think?
We ain't gonna comment. Hey, look, chill out, listen. I don't put my hand in the wife's pocket. I don't do that. That's some girly shit. In my business. I wish you the best, and I'm just doing me like that. You see how I'm living. You see how I'm just doing me.
Did get a copy of the lawsuit? It's supposed to be in my inbox last night. I'm waiting for it. It didn't show up. I'm hoping I will contact my people again later, and hopefully I can get it this afternoon to actually read the specifics of the suit and what the allegations are. But the fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, when if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, I mean, that's like a money pit. I mean, whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels, or you're buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. I mean, it's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't, it goes. So I can't speak to what his exact situation is, but I have covered boxing long enough to see plenty of superstar fighters that made crazy amounts of money file for bankruptcy. I mean, I covered Mike Tyson's bankruptcy and Evander Holyfield's bankruptcy, and I can name others. I mean, we've seen plenty of guys who have been in financial distress. The fact that Floyd is in that situation now is not a surprise. And then you look and see, he's trying to make an exhibition with Mike Tyson that's been announced, even though there was no specific date. And he's talking about doing other kinds of things also. So, hopefully he can get his stuff together. But I mean, honestly, the allegations about the 340 million, it just didn't ring true to me, because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired and they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been, that type of money that they've helped him make, and the person that he's paid, and the guidance that he's offered. I think the only fighter I've ever heard speak in any way negative about Al Heyman was Adrian Broner, and consider the source. Yeah. So, I can't make a really strong opinion about the lawsuit because I have not read the complete lawsuit yet. And I just don't know, but it didn't ring true to me. And if you were missing 340 million, I don't know why it took 10 years to fix.
Mayweather Jr. is suing Showtime and Stephen Espinoza, the former head of Showtime Sports, for hundreds of millions of dollars that he claims are unaccounted for. Let's go ahead and break it down and give you all the details about what's going on. What's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas here for Fight Up TV. And Floyd Mayweather as probably the richest and one of the most dominant boxers in the history of the sport. But now Floyd is stepping into the courtroom to fight for money he claims that he was never paid, and he wants justice on his terms. So let's talk details. Let me tell you about the lawsuits. On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Stephen Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for, and he's now suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud. Ooh, it's a serious accusation there. Conversion, unjust enrichment, and he's seeking punitive damage on top of the missing $340 million. So why is Floyd suing him, and what is he claiming? Well, Floyd argues that during his legendary career, where he generated $1 billion in revenue plus and pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly. The lawsuit also points to some of boxing's biggest pay-per-view fights, including fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that generated hundreds of millions in revenue. Mayweather's legal team said he generated hundreds of millions in revenue for Showtime and now wants to recover what he claims was unfairly taken. So just a little side note here for some of you guys that haven't been following the sport for the last 10, 15 years and may be asking, you know, who's Stephen Espinoza? Like you're aware of Showtime. There's still a network. Showtime Boxing is now defunct, but Stephen Espinoza used to be the head of Showtime Sports. So Espinoza played a key role in getting Mayweather to leave HBO and come to the network, Showtime Boxing at the time a few years back. Now, he's played just a lot of key roles in boxing over the years, including being crucial to a lot of the biggest fights in the last 10, 15 years of boxing. And he was in charge of Showtime's boxing operations from 2018 until the division shut down in 2023. Now, Mayweather is alleging that Espinoza and Showtime actively participated in the misdirection of his earnings and are responsible for helping Heyman carrying out this alleged financial scheme. So here's a little interesting wrinkle, an interesting detail in this whole lawsuit. Al Heyman himself, the advisor that Mayweather blames for the missing money, is not named as a defendant in the lawsuit. Instead, Mayweather's legal action targets the network and Stephen Espinoza. He claims they aided and abetted these alleged financial wrongdoings. So what does this mean, and what's like a potential outcome for this case that's coming up? Well, the lawsuit could have some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations. Mayweather wants hundreds of millions back plus punitive damages, pushing this beyond a simple accounting dispute. If the court rules in his favor, it could open the door to more scrutiny of boxing's behind-the-scenes